Picked up by Pastrnak, 3-on-2. Pastrnak. Send it to the slot. Fire, they score! Right off the hop. Morgan Hickey goals in 3 straight. On his stick, Watson shoots. And Hagel to Braden Point, 2-on-1. Perry, a great save by Swagevich, couldn't fire it, and now Bennett getting it ball to Zadorov. Zadorov a right, Zadorov a left, a Jersey jab. Zadorov a right, Zadorov a right. Pastrnak scores 50 goals for David Pastrnak.
As well as anybody. Oh, what a second game. Big. Previously, McDavid thumped on the boards by
To Bergeron, the drive, save, rebound is loose. Sagan kicks it loose. Bennett scores!
All right. This is the first iteration while it's been integrated with BSCN. This is your one-stop scoop shop for Bruins Scoops. Different approach. Completely different approach. This is your analytical approach to the Boston Bruins. There's a lot of things that you can react, obviously, with the eye test. There's things that you can react to based on just your opinion, based on games, based on this. But I'm going to look at the Boston Bruins as a whole from more of an analytical approach. It's kind of how I approach my writing with the hockey writers. So we will kind of dive into the nitty-gritty because this is going to be a tough stretch for the Bruins. I'm not saying the competition they've had lately is top-tier talent, although they did, in the loss to the Tampa Bay Lightning, they fought back. Very ugly start. The giveaways, the turnovers, just the lapses in their game early on, not ideal. You didn't like that. McAvoy was falling asleep there. Didn't love that on the first goal. The second goal is Zadorov. I noticed that's something that happened a lot last year. The game against the Hurricanes rings a bell. Granted, his stick broke, just is what it is, but cross-ice pass, turnover, leads to a goal. Can't even fault him on the third goal. That was just a beautiful move. Korpisalo had no chance, but you credit the Bruins because they fought back. You credit the Bruins because they hung in there, they dug deep, and they executed. I thought the first 3 wins were great. I thought the game against Washington was phenomenal. I thought, and they got outshot. But when you go back to the game logs, you see that the Bruins, when it came to the expected goal stuff, now I know people don't like that because, it's expected. Yeah, it's expected. It's offense being generated. Again, it was low event offense pretty much during 5 period that the Bruins got absolutely smothered and covered was the second period where the Capitals had over 2 expected goals during 5-on-5 play. The Bruins had no chance. Didn't matter if it was 5-on-5, the power play, whatever. But first and third period, the Bruins had better quality chances. And the one thing about the Bruins that they did do to the Capitals was they held them to the perimeter. Phenomenal job. They did a good job against the Sabres. It was another game where they pretty much held them to no offense at all. I mean, it was just 1.82 expected goals in general, just from the Sabres as a whole. So that obviously just very low event offense. The Bruins played well. I thought Jordan Harris has looked really, really good with no Hampus Lindholm, who he is skating. So we will see if he plays on this road trip. That's a huge boost. But I like what Jordan Harris has been doing. He looks really comfy with the puck. His numbers were phenomenal, to be honest with you. I thought he did a phenomenal job. And we'll kind of go over his metrics once I get into more like the nitty gritty and stuff. But overall, I think this team's played great. I think Swayman's been phenomenal. I think Korpisalo's been good enough. Credit to them for kind of digging deep, going toe-to-toe, back-and-forth game with the Blackhawks. Fraser Minton gets his first goal. Yeah, it's been a good start. Hang on one second. We're good. The boss man, the Rip man himself, sent me a text, so had to respond. Now I'm back. But no, the Bruins have been playing good. I think they're leaning into their structure. They're leaning into their system. I think it's been it's something they've done really, really well. And you got a complete buy-in. I said this on the first video that I made. You're seeing the Bruins finally have an identity. You're seeing this team finally have an identity shift. They're setting a culture. They're setting the way they want to play. They're setting up their style. They're setting up everything that they want to do. Biggest thing I've noticed too, and I think that's important because I compared it to like the Carolina Hurricanes. Hurricanes had no identity. Rod Brittamore gets behind the bench as the head coach, and that team's got an identity. And the thing about that hockey team is they all buy into that identity, and that's what makes them successful. Now, you can sit here and look at me and be like, oh, well, the Hurricanes haven't won. There's issues why the Hurricanes haven't won, in my opinion. But the Boston Bruins are playing their style, establishing their identity. And when all the players buy in, good things are going to happen. I don't know how Don Sweeney and Neely are going to shift this team to fit this system. Maybe they do take an approach like the Hurricanes, who analytically they target players to fit their system, like Keandre Miller, really good at generating chances off the rush. He's been great for them. Like, that's what they do. They target guys that fit their system. Now, will the Bruins do that? We will see. But as of right now, the Bruins are a team that literally are playing within their structure, within their system, and it's really fun to watch. I think this is what's going to be a true test because the teams they're playing, high caliber teams. You can make a very compelling case that they should have beaten the Tampa Bay Lightning. They just played sloppy. But you know what? You hung in with them. So at least you can hang with a team like that. Now, things are going to get a little tougher. You're playing the Vegas Golden Knights, and then you go to Colorado, and then you end with Utah. This is going to be a good test. This is going to be a really good test. I know goaltending has been kind of a thing for them. I believe Aiden Hill's hurt. Kier Schmid somehow has a .929 save percentage. What? When did that happen? 2 wins under his belt. He started 1 game. He's got 2 wins. Wow, good for Schmido Torpedo. If anyone doesn't know that, that's a Devils reference because he played for the Devils and was instrumental in them winning Game 7 against the Rangers a couple seasons ago. But anyways, moving on. You're playing this Golden Knights team who is they're disgusting. They're good. This is a team that has the 5th most goals in hockey right now. They're about leveled off, though. They got 12 goals against, so it's going to be really interesting. Their power play is at a 26.7% clip, early sample size, but they're converting. It's just their goaltending. They give up a lot of shots. Their save percentage is 20th in the league. That's not good. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see how this Bruins team fares out, because I think it's going to be really interesting to see about the structure, because the Vegas Golden Knights, like as a whole, from an offensive standpoint, are very good at 5-on-5. 56.06 Corsi for percentage. That is 4th best in the league. Their expected goals, they give up just as many chances as they take. 7.3 expected goals against, 7.04 expected goals for. And yeah, for the Bruins. And the Bruins have them in that regard. In terms of that, they have a 7.08 expected goals for, but their expected goals against at 5-on-5 is bad. 8.39 for the Bruins actually puts them where is that? 9th overall. That's not great, but they're behind some pretty good teams like the Lightning, the Panthers, the Blues, the Rangers are just they're their own mess right now. But then you don't want to really be in the same company as like a team like the Blackhawks or the Penguins. So this game could really be interesting at 5-on-5, but I think it's going to be the penalty kill, which I just did a article for the hockey writers because that's where I write my Bruins stuff, but I'm very happy to be bringing the audio here. The Bruins penalty kill was abysmal last year, but this year it's very good. It's very, very structured. They are keeping teams to the top of the blue line. They've only given up 4 high danger shots against on the penalty kill, so everything is low danger. That's one thing I've been very impressed with the Bruins is their high danger quality chances that they are not giving up, which I think is pretty significant. But that's one thing that's been effective is they've limited their quality chances, and they're gonna need to do that against a team like Vegas. But they've been lights out different compared to last year because last year they struggled with a lot of different things. Like last year, through the first 4 games, the Bruins had the 4th highest expected goals. Now, granted, they spent more time on the kill, but giving up a lot more. Where right now it's just at 2.35, and that's one of the fewer in the league, which is good. Like that means you're not giving up a ton on the penalty kill, which is great to see. I think the goaltending's been really strong on the penalty kill this year, which obviously helps. But yeah, significantly difference in minutes. You're talking 13 less minutes on the penalty kill this year. But they've done a good job. Andrew Peake's been really good on the kill. Shot blocking machine. Sean Corrali's been super stable. And even Zadorov, when he's not in the box and he's on the kill, he's been good. So you kind of take those things. But Vegas does have a really good power play. Colorado will get there. Their power play 19th, but they still have the weapons. You're not really worried about Utah in this one. You're just not. I think a big factor is just going to be like their goaltending. I think you're going to really want to get after that team from an offensive standpoint. Defensively, they actually don't really give up. This is per Hockey Viz. They don't really give up a lot of like high danger stuff. Their PK is a little different. They don't clog up the neutral zone a lot. So if the Bruins power play, which has looked really good in terms of puck movement, if they can find open space in the inner slots, I like their chances of scoring some goals. And what I mean here is I will show you in a second. Yep. So this is what I mean. Like right here, this beautiful area right here. This is where the Golden Knights on the PK defense. That's where they're giving up a lot of their chances. So the Bruins can kind of find like these soft spots in here, really utilize that bumper position. I think they can actually do a lot of big damage. Now Vegas, I mean, they are giving up the expected goals, but you really see from a heat map standpoint, a lot of things are from the blue lines. You know, nothing really coming from here, and that's a testament to the Vegas success. They've done that good of a job, and you can. You definitely can't complain if you're Vegas. You definitely love that. And then you're really going to have to shut down Marner and you're going to have to shut down Eichel. Those are 2 guys who have been their bread and butter. Mark Stone has no goals but 6 assists. Marner hasn't scored yet, but he's got 4 assists. Jack Eichel's been a machine. He's well over a point per game. He's a 2-point per game player right now, shooting at a 22.2% clip. He's been phenomenal. And that Vegas team is deep. That Vegas team is very deep. I mean, for 28 minutes, they've put Barbashev, Eichel, and Marner together, which has been great. But they're giving up as many chances as they're taking, which is not great. But Hurdle, Marner, and Dorofeyev, he's been phenomenal. Goal scoring machine. I mean, he's going to be fine wherever he plays. Vegas is pretty deep up front. Like, they have depth. And it doesn't really matter who's playing where and who's playing with who. And obviously, Bruce Cassidy is going to shift the lines or do however he can do. But this is a game that's going to be a true test for the Bruins. It's going to be a team that is got more talent than they do. But this is a team that, if you can go toe-to-toe with the Vegas Golden Knights, you are in very good shape. I'm actually checking daily faceoff because they do update these. And I'm gonna check on the status of the goalies because I think that's it. I think that's honestly very important. Because Adin Hill is a good goalie. Adin Hill is a good goaltender. But if Adin Hill's hurt, that puts them in a bind. That puts them in a big bind. But yeah, that defense is pretty loaded. They'll see Jeremy Lauzon. Holy crap, when did he get to Vegas? Forgot about that. Let's see. Let's go to the goalies. Okay, Adin Hill is hurt. He is out. He is, let's see. Let's see what this report says. He's out. He's not even like, he's not, there's no day-to-day. There's no nothing. Let's see. The injury. Lower body will not return. Yep, it looks like it probably will be Akira Schmid. That's, again, not a, I mean, I don't hate Akira Schmid. I just, if you're the Bruins, you need to pepper him with shots if you get them. Capitalize on them. The Bruins have definitely shown that they have the talent. They definitely have shown that they I've been very intrigued by their depth scoring this year, which has been really very, very, very big difference in this Bruins team. I think if they can get their depth scoring going, they're going to be in really, really, really good shape. But that's definitely like where I stand on the matter. Yeah, Pepper Akira Schmid, who's been good. He's got over a 900 save percentage. He's been good. But you definitely want to take care of a team like that because, I mean, that's going to make a world of difference in every way possible. And then you take on Colorado. Colorado's had mixed results, I believe, to start the year. Gonna look at their lineup. Where are you? Colorado. Okay, so this is a very the way I break down the Colorado Avalanche is they are a very top-heavy team. This is a team that they definitely rely on their big guns, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. So you look at the Avalanche. I'm try to maximize this. Yep. Okay, so you look at the Avalanche, and their top line of Marty Necas, Nathan McKinnon, and Arturi Lehkonen. They are dynamic. 3.79 expected goals for per 60 minutes. Yeah, I mean, the 1.9, that's not bad. They're definitely doing their job. They're controlling the play. They're dictating the play. You look at their next line. I mean, Brock Nelson and Nichushkin and Landeskog, they're definitely getting caved in. Olofsson, Drury, and Colton, I mean, that's a pretty solid depth line. Low event offense, though, but they are obviously controlling the play more so than not. And then you don't really put a lot of stock into the to the fourth line. I mean, you do, but at the same time, like, you don't because it's, I mean, at that point it's whatever. But when you look at their goals, and this is obviously at 5-on-5 because obviously this team is, this is a trio here, but they have 5 goals. Most of the goal scoring is coming from the top line. And I think that's going to play a huge factor for the Bruins. Like, if you can get your mismatches and you can get your lineups to where you want them, that's going to be huge. Because, it's insane. They're averaging 6.53 goals per 60. But the Bruins' penalty kill and special teams could play a factor. Because you know what? I think this is a Bruins team. Like, you look at their lineup. You look at what they've done. This is a team that literally can go toe-to-toe with Colorado, I think from an offensive standpoint. I really do. I want to talk about the expected stuff, and this is all per money puck, because I think this is important. Every single Bruins line is pretty active. The Corrali, Kostelik, and Kuznetsov line, that is a line that I think could easily take over this game in terms of impact. 1.4 expected goals for a 70% expected goals percentage. Is that going to be sustainable? Absolutely not. No way. No chance. There's no way that's going to be sustainable. However, it's effective. It's impactful. It works. I think the Janot, Mitten, Asimont line, it's not clicking, but give them time because it's early. But I think like you have a line with Arvidsson, Middlestat, and Zaka. Zaka's been great at the middle. Zaka's got 5 points. He's been phenomenal. Casey Middlestat from the winger position, taking passes from Pavel Zacha. That beautiful goal he had the other day. Huge. Top shelf. Beautiful to see. You love to see that. And that's the expected stuff. I mean, 1.3, I mean, it's the fewest of any of the Bruins lines, but still effective. It's been effective enough. And then you look at the lines that are actually producing. The Middlestat, Zaka, and Arvidsson combination has the most goals scored of any Bruins line. They are outscoring the opposition 3-1. The top line hasn't exactly clicked. It's not exactly lighting the world on fire, but you've seen the Pastrnak, Lindholm, Geeky connection work on the power play. And while the results may not be there for the fourth line, they are just impacting the game in so many different ways. So you really do like to see that. I think the Bruins can hang with the Colorado Avalanche. I've watched some Avalanche games, and it's very top heavy. That is a very top heavy team. You look at Colorado's like offense being generated, their power play offense. This is going to be a complete dynamic matchup for the Boston Bruins because they don't get anywhere near the crease. They don't get anywhere near the goal crease at all. That's the really nice part. They do a horrible job of getting to the high danger areas, and that is exactly what I'm about to show you. And this is all Hockey Viz, by the way. This is all like free material. Like they don't like here, like right here, their power play. They don't do anything in here. That's the Bruins' bread and butter because they don't allow anything to come from here. So they're keeping it all the perimeter. And I think that could be a testament of why they've had really bad sex. Now, this is going to be a problem for the Bruins. You get the Makars, you get the McKinnons. Good luck. Good luck. That's pretty much how I feel about that because you give McKinnon, Makar any time and space, you're asking for a lot. You're asking for some problems. But I think the Bruins can hang with this Colorado team. I really, really do. Even though I think Colorado's a little faster, I think Colorado they definitely have more game-breaking talent. McKinnon, Makar, I mean, even Nichushkin can chime in. Devin Taves is really good. And their goaltending, I don't think, has been bad. Let me go to their goalies. I try to watch a lot of Colorado. It's just not easy because, obviously, I'm old and I like to go to bed because, Wow. So Scott Wedgwood's played in all the games. Interesting. 3.2 goals saved above expected. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let me make sure that's actually correct. But based on Money Puck, that is correct. So, and nothing against Scott Wedgwood. I'm shocked. I wonder if Mackenzie Blackwood, is he dealing with something? Because Blackwood's really good. I'm surprised that Wedgwood has gotten the leash in net. That does make sense. He's played all 4 games. 3-1 record. 7 points. Okay. Very interesting because Mackenzie Blackwood, what a turnaround he had. I always wanted to root for him for the Devils. I always wanted to see him succeed. it never happened. Yeah, Wedgwood's played all the games. 935 save percentage, 1.72 goals against average, 3.2 goals saved above expected. That's pretty good to start the year. Small sample, but 4 games. I mean, that's good goaltending to start the year. But yeah, all their goal scoring is coming from the top. McKinnon's got 4. Natchez has 3. Lekkonen's got 2. Yeah, the top line has literally done all their damage. So, I mean, you limit their top line and you suppress them, given. And then the pair I'd really want against the Bruins, or for the Bruins against that top line, this is going to be interesting. Nope, that's goalies. Need to go lines. Let's see. Let's go defensive pairs. Let's get this going. Here we go. Okay, so I mean, Harris and Peake have been really good together. I don't want Zadorov against McKinnon. Good God, that would be really bad. You want Lindholm out there if you can. I mean, if you want to trot McAvoy and Lowry out there just to try to get some semblance of play, because they're really the offensive drivers from the back end. But if Lindholm comes back and Lindholm's playing with Peake, sign me up for that. I mean, their expected stuff isn't great despite the 13 minutes. I mean, 0.6 goals, expected goals against. That's not bad. Sample size is obviously very, very, very minimal. Zadorov and Peake have actually been really good. I just don't like that from a speed matchup, from a speed standpoint, because just McKinnon's got wheels. You give him any open ice, he's going. But that team is extremely top heavy, and that's just not going to be fun for the Bruins. But I think if you take care of the top line, there's no reason why you shouldn't win this hockey game. Let's see. You have a day off in between due to travel, but gotta imagine Swayman gets Vegas, give Swayman Colorado, and then give Korpisalo Utah. That's how I would look at it. Utah's interesting. Utah's very interesting. They're an interesting team. 2-2. They don't score a lot. They have 8 goals this season. 8 total goals. Like, this is not great. They're not a very high-scoring team. Their power play is 29th in the league, too. Their offense is just horrendous. It's not great. But they have guys that are very good. They have very good hockey players. I think if you're looking at this game for the Bruins, it's going to be a very low-scoring game. A low-scoring game that the Bruins should win. But they've had different contributors all up and down, like Dylan Gunther, JJ Peterka. I mean, Logan Cooley only got 1 point. Somehow John Marino is top 5 in points for the Utah Mammoth, which is insane to me. But I think this is a game that the Bruins could easily control. This is a game the Bruins could legitimately get after, hone in on their opposition, allow Utah to kind of suck into their play, and the Bruins just take control. Because if you're looking at that team and the way they score, you shouldn't be losing that game. Like, you shouldn't lose that hockey game. And there's no, I mean, they're averaging, where are you, Utah? You got to be at the bottom. You are at the bottom. Utah is averaging a lovely 1.69 goals for per, or 1.69 goals for per 60 minutes. That's not good. That's bad. And they're not a very strong, I don't think they're a very strong 5-on-5 team. I watched them last night. They are a lot of fun. Their jerseys rock. Their mascot's cool. But yeah, I mean, they give up just as many. They're kind of like the Bruins, but the Bruins have a little bit more of a higher event offense. Yeah, they've only scored 5 goals at 5-on-5. I mean, the Bruins have only scored 7. So, I mean, this is going to be a very similar matchup, I think. Goaltending could be key. I mean, I'm looking at the goalie thing, and the Utah Mammoth have the 10th best save percentage, I believe, in the league. A lot of that has to do with Karel Vejmelka. 3 games played. He's only got 5 goals against. He's been phenomenal once again. 5.1 goals saved above expected. That is second in the league behind Igor Shesterkin. Save percentage is 929. He's been really good. Once again, he's been good. I mean, Vejmelka is a good goalie. And I like Utah overall. I really do. I don't know why they still have Utah Hockey Club for their what's it called? Their thing. But yeah, Vitek Vanacek is their other goalie. If you face him, you have a really good chance because nothing against Vitek, but he's just not great. 846 save percentage, that's abysmal. 0.1 goals saved above expected. But yeah, Vejmelka is going to get the bulk of the starts. Connor Ingram's not even part of the team no more, so Vitek is the backup. You have a good chance at seeing Vejmelka. But yeah, this is really a game that's going to be very low event offense, I think. It's going to be low event, really tight checking. Could be back and forth with a little bit of pace, because there are some guys that can wheel around with the puck. The Bruins have some youngsters. Utah's filled with a lot of them. But that's a very winnable game if you're the Boston Bruins. Very winnable game. Yeah, this is going to be a really telltale sign of the week. I think the Bruins, they survived the first week. I think they did a really good job. The Bruins managed to, let's say, survive their competition, but I think they beat the teams they should have beaten. Like Buffalo's not a very good hockey team. They finally won last night in a high-scoring fashion, but they're not a very good team. You look at the Capitals, like that's a good team. You beat them. Got good goaltending from Jeremy Swayman. Chicago, that was a very good back-and-forth game, and you hung with the Lightning. And a game that you maybe could have won if you played sharper. And I like the fight. I don't care if the Bruins lose every single game this week. But if they play within their system, they play within their structure, they stick to, their whatever Marco Stern wants them to play like, I'm good. I'm good with that. You sit there and play your game and execute your assignments and compete for all 60 minutes, you go with me. You're good in my book. Because, the Bruins, they do still have similar issues from last year. Their 5-on-5 defense is not super efficient. They do give up a lot of chances. They do give up a lot of shot attempts. Their shots against, I don't think it's super high. I think it's, they're about middle of the pack, or, they're about middle of the pack. But the expected goal stuff is not great if you're the Bruins. Like you're still down there. You're still 27th. That's not great. You don't love to see that, but I do think overall the Bruins, and again, these are such small samples, so all this stuff will eventually just kind of level itself out. But if you're a Bruins fan, like you have to at least be excited about what you're seeing. This is a team that's competing. They're playing well within their system. They're winning games. And you know what? They're fun to watch. This isn't a Bruins team like last year that just struggled and was not good. This is a Bruins team that's very good so far to start the season, and they're playing the right way, and that matters. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting week. I think these are winnable games. If I had to bet, I'm gonna take a bet. The Bruins, I'm gonna say they go 2-1. I think they lose the Vegas game somehow. But I do think they prevail against Colorado, and I do believe they can squeak one out against Utah. I think the Bruins have enough good firepower to get after Utah, and I do think they end up 2-1, and then they come home and they face the Brad Marchand Florida Panthers, which that's just, man, what a time that is for them, because lots of injuries over there. But you know what? This has been fun. This has been great. I'm looking forward to doing this, just talking Bruins. It feels good to be somewhat in my element again, where I can do this in a really fun capacity. But yeah, that is Bruins by the numbers, your Bruins scoops for the trip ahead. And we will, and you know what? Let's see what they're made of. So without further ado, go Bees!